Who doesn't love to commit crimes? Especially in video games. The fun thing about a game like Skyrim is that it's up to you how morally right you want to be. You can be a righteous paladin who aids anyone in need, or be a ruthless assassin who enjoys robberies and murder on a daily basis. There are plenty of other games where you can commit heinous crimes against humanity. But the beautiful thing about Skyrim is how the world reacts to your crimes, and how many layers the crime system has.
You have committed crimes against Skyrim and her people. What say you in your defense?
For example, you can receive a bounty on your head in a specific district, you can go to jail and then escape jail, or just bribe the guard to look the other way. And if you ever get spotted while committing a crime, just kill the witness and that will solve your problem altogether. Fallout 4 sadly didn't have all these cool systems. As soon as you did something wrong, everyone would just try to kill you. Which makes sense lore-wise, because everyone has lost everything and there's no law or government anymore. So everyone will protect their people and their possessions with their life. But I do hope that Starfield will be closer to Skyrim's crime system. And luckily, there is evidence that it will. Starfield has the potential to have the best crime system in any Bethesda game. And the one thing we know for sure is making a return from Skyrim is bounties. We learned this from the character creator. At the section where you choose your traits, you can choose a faction alignment as one of the options. Choosing one of these means you get some extra benefits with that faction, but your crime bounties with other factions are greatly increased. As we can see in the trait list, there are 3 factions that this applies to. Neon, the Freestar Collective, and the United Colonies. We know whole star systems are owned by different factions, so bounties will probably be regional, like in Skyrim, where if you commit a crime in the territory of a faction, you receive a bounty and become wanted for them. But if you then go to another territory, there are no consequences there. Speaking of consequences, what will they be once you get caught in Starfield?
Disrespect the law and you disrespect me.
I expect you to always have the option to resort to violence and fight to the death. Or running away and hiding behind a rock has always been a good option too. The most fun option, however, would be going to jail, and especially the breaking out part. In Skyrim, every jail could be escaped from. For example, by secret tunnel through the sewers, or just by lockpicking the door of your cell. But there was one really memorable escape, the one in Markarth. Once you got arrested there, you were forced to work in the Sidna mine, where you would plot a whole escape plan with the other prisoners.
You're in Sidna mine now, and we expect you to earn your keep. There's no resting your hide in a cell in this prison. Here you work. You'll mine ore until you start throwing up silver bars.
So I hope Starfield builds on this idea, and I would like to see prison escape quests for all the 3 big cities. If you don't want to go to jail, there's always another option. Trying to convince the guards to let you go, with bribery or persuasion for example. With bribery you would just give them some money to look the other way. And in Skyrim this was sometimes the better option than paying your bounty, since it allowed you to keep your stolen goods instead of the guard confiscating them. Persuasion is also back, and this time in an elevated form. In past games you just needed to be a certain persuasion level to pass the speech check. But in Starfield you will have multiple turns to convince someone, where you would spend points on different dialogue choices. And I assume you can upgrade the number of points with perks like this one. We now know what we could expect from the 3 big city factions, but there's one more important faction that's still missing. The Crimson Fleet. At this point we don't know if they control star systems like the other factions do, or if they just have a couple hidden bases inside other factions' territory. Another possibility is that their home of operation is an actual fleet of large ships. Either way, I don't think the Crimson Fleet will react the same to crime as the other factions. Maybe they will ignore petty crimes like stealing and lockpicking, but I think once you start assaulting members they will immediately come for your head. Now that we talked about all the possible consequences, let's discuss the actual crimes. I think we should start by looking at the crimes in Skyrim and see how they will fit into the world of Starfield. In Skyrim we had lockpicking, theft, horse theft, trespassing, pickpocketing, assault, murder, prison break, disturbing the Jarl's peace, forging a business ledger and shapeshifting into a werewolf or vampire lord. I doubt that we will be transforming into a werewolf or vampire lord in Starfield, and forging a business ledger was a very specific crime that you would do for the Thieves Guild in Skyrim, so we can scrap both of these. The one we've seen actual gameplay from is lockpicking, and lockpicking got a significant upgrade in Starfield. In past games you would just wiggle 2 pins around until you find the right spot, but in Starfield lockpicking is an actual minigame, where you get presented with a lock with a couple holes and a selection of digipicks that you need to mix and match in the correct way to unlock the lock. We can see that the security perk will allow you to unlock higher level locks, so it's a must-have if you want to get into those precious loot containers. Theft, pickpocketing, trespassing, assault and murder are all pretty straightforward, and I think without a doubt will make it back into Starfield. Also, I don't expect these to change much in comparison to past games. Horse theft we could just simply change to spaceship theft. Bethesda has confirmed that you can dock other ships, so actually stealing a spaceship doesn't seem too far-fetched. That does bring up the question, what can we do with our stolen ships? Because the game is set in the year 2330, I do expect there to be advanced spaceship registration. So I don't think you can just keep it or sell it, because everyone will know that your spaceship is stolen. But maybe there are like some shady black market guys you could sell it to, that then strip it for parts. Lastly, we have disturbing the Jarl's peace, which is basically the same as disturbance of public order. In Skyrim, you would be guilty of this crime if you would drop a random weapon in the streets or hang out with a dead body for too long, even if you didn't kill it. I think this crime will likely return in Starfield, obviously under another name. An addition that might make you guilty of this is recklessly firing your weapon in the cities, even if you don't hit anyone. Now that we've discussed all the existing crimes, I want to add one new crime, which is possession of illegal goods. I suspect that you would have to do some smuggling missions for the Crimson Fleet. In Skyrim you could just walk around with your pockets full of stolen goods, but in Starfield I expect police ships to have scanners so they can actually see what kind of cargo you're carrying. This would make smuggle missions a bit more intense. The main thing I'm thinking about is Aurora, which is a drug that's only legal on Neon, and I would be surprised if there were no quests that would want you to smuggle it out of Neon. So overall I think Starfield's crime system has a lot of potential. We haven't seen much yet, but from what we've seen it does allude to be similar to Skyrim's. Honestly, if it would match Skyrim's crime system and implement a couple of modern tweaks and updates, I would be more than satisfied. On that note, I want to thank you all for watching. The support on the last few videos has been amazing, and if you're interested in more Starfield news and discussions, click that subscribe button. And then I'll see you all at the next video.